Hey there. Today I am sitting with Jody Johnson, who is a phenomenal business and executive coach. She also happens to be my sister, but I know she's a good coach because she's been my coach for a long time. And what we're going to talk about today is about how important it is to have your authentic voice, to speak your truth in the workplace and in life and all kinds of stuff like that. So we're just going to start talking and see where it goes. Welcome,
Okay.
Jody.
Well, thank you.
So
Merci, Heather.
Merci. We're sitting here in France today. So what I'm going to ask is, when you're dealing with your clients and getting to the heart of the matter, whether it's marketing, making business decisions, whatever that is, where do you see, what do you see as the key role of being authentic with your voice in the work that you do? Like, how does that begin to manifest, like with a new client or something?
My own true voice or theirs?
Well, both. Like,
Okay.
I think as a coach, inauthenticity shows up. Like, people can smell it a mile away.
Without a doubt.
So right off the bat, we know that you have an authentic voice, but we're looking at, your authentic voice and how that brings out their authentic voice.
Well, first of all, I think, Colleen, that the people that are attracted to working with me.
Wait, Jasmine?
Bitte schön.
Merci.
Dankeschön. English, Deutsch,
English.
English,
Oui,
America,
American, oui.
America,
Oui.
California.
Florida, Miami.
Oh yeah, Michael Jackson, Billie Jean. Morning and have a nice day. And Billie Jean is not my son.
Welcome to France. We just had a fabulous exchange with our waiter.
Oh, it was adorable. Anyway, so what I started to say is that the people that I'm attracted to or that are attracted to me are attracted based on that
On that authenticity.
genuine and authentic connection.
Yeah.
And it's energetic. So there are people that I begin to speak with that I can immediately tell that this is not going to be a
The right
good
match.
working
Yeah.
relationship, or like you're my client. Like
Yeah,
we
it's
don't even have
obvious.
to talk anymore. It's like you're my client.
Yeah.
And at this point, now 20 years in, I have the luxury, I suppose, of being able to say, I want to work with this person or I do not.
Yeah.
And it's not like they have to be perfect, because authentic and genuine and real isn't necessarily like that.
it's messy.
It's more a matter of really having someone develop the sort of discernment to say authentically, this is what I want, or this is what I'm building, and here's why.
Speaking the truth, it requires a certain level, like a certain foundation of self-awareness before they even enter the conversation.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's funny, in the beginning, women clients were so much easier to get because they were clear that they didn't know, and they were okay with saying that. Where some of the attorneys that I spoke with or doctors in the beginning are very educated people, so they think they should be able to figure it out. Meanwhile, they never got trained in
that
the business
yeah.
of running a law firm or running
It's very
a physician's office.
different
or anything
being
like
a
that.
surgeon than it is being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
A little bit of different mindset. But but at the same time, I think that a lot of people, male and female, when they're coming from I'm fighting for success, the pretense of the fake it till you make it world is really strong. And the idea that I can power through something is ingrained in a lot of people. And it doesn't lend itself to receiving coaching, and it doesn't lend itself to doing more and more self-introspection.
Well, I think it was like that, maybe like when I first started. Although ambitious people that have been at it for a while, which is the ideal client for me, are aware of what's working, not working in their businesses. And today, people are much more willing because it's more common, it's more mainstream. But in the beginning, I used to say, like, business coach, what's that? Well, it's just like a coach who's training an athlete
On your golf swing
or in
Yeah.
the Olympics or in some way, and they're there to ensure that you practice. They're there to ensure that you have the right foods and the right people around you and so on. So if you think of it like a coach of an athlete, but a coach for a business, and then they go, oh, okay, I get it. Yeah.
So talk to me about, how do you go about bringing out the authentic voice in them? Like from their marketing, with their clients, with their team, with their event. Like how do you do that? And then after that, I'm going to ask you more about making decisions rooted in self-awareness.
Well, I mean, I'm going to go off a little bit on a tangent because the very first thing that I do is let's look at the money.
Yep.
Because they say, well, I want to hire someone or I want to do this marketing campaign. What do you think? Like, I don't know. Until I see where you stand financially and what your runway is and what the needs of the business are, I can't answer that question. So I always start with the money. But once we get clear on that, then it's more a matter of evaluating how is it with the team? Are their core values? What is the culture of the company? And the culture of the company may be written up on a wall, but that doesn't mean that that's the actual the core values.
The pretty words we said.
Or the culture of that company.
Right.
So it's more like as lived. So that takes a little bit of time to get clear on what's happening here. But I think that shedding, and this is where the Clarity course is a valuable tool, is that shedding the shoulds, or books say it should look like this,
Right.
or I saw a course or I went to a seminar and they said this. So one of the things that I am very, very strong in my opinion and in my statements with clients is, you can't sell the way that person sells. You were born where you were born. You went to school where you went to school.
Raised with the values you were raised with.
So you can take best practices, and if something resonates, okay, bring it up. But you can't follow someone's prescribed way of doing that because it's not you.
And yet people
you
do
have
that.
to be you.
People do it all day long, every day, and wonder why it doesn't work. Or why it doesn't work the way they want it to work,
or
the
thought
way
it would,
could.
or the way that this person promised it would.
Yeah, and it's funny because there are so many experts telling people follow this formula.
Right, no.
And, like, yes, there are best practices, but for me to do what somebody else does, like, it's too constricting for me. It's almost like wearing a straitjacket to try and be myself. Sometimes it feels like that.
Well,
I've tried it.
I think there's a couple of things. One is that through force, people can get to a certain place.
Right.
But once that energy of force is removed, it will crumble and collapse.
Yeah.
So the only way
That's
to
how
build
empires
something
fall.
sustainable is that it's an expression of that person, and what they're building is infused with love. Now, I know in business you may be like, oh, you're talking about love in business. Absolutely. Work is an expression of love. Love of the
Passion for what you're
industry,
doing, the people
love
you're
of
serving.
the people you're
Yep.
serving. And so to be able to kind of peel back all those barriers of protection and defense to get to this is who I am. And Seth Godin says it so beautifully, the smallest viable audience,
Yeah.
right? And that you're not meant to be the service
everything for
provider
everyone.
for everyone. Exactly.
It's funny. hearing you speak that way is like love being at the heart of it. And I'm definitely not a business coach, but what I guide people with in defining and choosing and organizing your next chapter. Uh, if you're not organizing your next chapter around who you actually are authentically, then your self-expression is the expression of someone else. It's not actually the expression of yourself. Like what I'm
it's
doing is an
incoherent.
expression of me. It's misaligned.
Yeah.
And I think that one of the best pieces of business advice I ever got was to align with my partner, with my business, with my vision, with my dream, with my goals, like to be aligned with all of that. And then, and of course in the clarity work that I do, it's like, how do I align my life? Like my thoughts, my words, my essence, my behavior, like all of that being aligned so that I am expressing myself, like the capital self is what's being self-expressed. And in business, for me, it's like that's the best way to be successful. Just go out in the world and be myself, doing what I love with the excellence that I bring because I love it, and doing it for people that I care about getting those results. Like what better formula could there be? And the rest is, try to market like this or try that system or whatever, but that's the best way that I know how to do it.
Well, it's definitely foundational. And so, yes, there's going to be, you have to put in the administrative aspects and the processes and all the things
All the
that make
systems.
a business work. But the soul of it has to be that authentic expression.
And if it's not, it feels soulless.
And it doesn't last.
Yeah, true story. I said a minute ago that I'm going to ask you about decision making in a business and how that relates back to this conversation of authenticity.
Well, I think it comes all the way down to the core values of that owner and that company. Because, they talk about if the culture and the values are clear, the decision making is easy. Not easy to maybe execute on, but easy in terms of this is what would need to happen or not happen. And
It may not be fun to make the decision, but knowing what to decide is clear.
is clear. And so when that's present and it's not like wallpaper, then the decision making process becomes easier and easier and easier to do.
There's a filter and a foundation for the decisions you make.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's this is one of the things that people who've gone through the course have told me. It's like I still struggle with making decisions, but I don't double guess them once I do. And it's to the same point. Like what the right thing to choose is there and evident.
Well,
whether I like it
think
or not.
for me, like I made some decisions, after participating in this course with you, engaging in the coursework, where there were certain things that were expected of me, or could be expected of me, that I felt like, oh, yeah, I could do that. It would be good. It would be useful for somebody who's new at this. I did a lot of training of new coaches and stuff. Is that in the next chapter of my life, is that actually because it was expected of me, because I was flattered to be asked, because blah, 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 blah? Or is it aligned with and consistent with what I'm building in the next chapter of my life?
Congratulations on getting that. It's so key. It's
So I said, no, I actually, what I said was, if you can't find someone else, I will honor my word. But I would prefer to not do this. And, so that was a gift, because I didn't see it before I participated in the course. And learning like what would please me as I build a next chapter and what's a remnant of what I was building in the past.
It's so automatic for people to be the person they're expected to be and do what they're supposed to do. And we're really not taught to question what we want. You know, like there are a lot of people that I talk with who are afraid to say what they want because it's almost evil to be selfish. You know, it's just something that is so alien and wrong that they feel guilty about taking care of themselves. But that's the best way to take care of other people.
I think that's, at least that in my experience, that's more common with women,
Yeah.
women business owners. But because we got raised, and I don't care what nationality, you know, somebody is, to be nurturing and
Yep.
to be caring and to be, you know, who's needed and wanted in this moment. And nothing wrong with that. That's actually a beautiful thing. But the balance of what's consistent and what would please me and what am I building now versus, you know, who, you know, to borrow some of your phrases, who I've taught people to be in the past. And so I think that for me is also is passing the baton. No, it's like there are people who can do maybe not the way I do it or how I do it, but are capable of doing this.
Right.
And to let them go and you know, build their own credibility and their own expertise and contribution. So it's an interesting place to be after so many years. That I'm eager to continue to speculate and explore what's next. It's not fully defined, but I'm at the place of completing the past, so there's a space to create.
That's awesome. You know, one of the things that people often land at once you've been living the life you're supposed to be living for so long is the end in resentment. You know, that it just feels like I've been used or like I have to, I feel stuck, like all of these different kinds of things that happen, and letting go. It's like you're saying with completion. It's like being complete with that, letting go of what I did, you know, like bless it, let it go. And even, you know, like I don't need to be angry or, you know, nasty about what happened. Where I've been brought me to where I am, which is a good thing. You know, it's a powerful thing. But just recognizing those pieces so that I can look at it and make a choice. Because we can't make decisions, we can't make, you know, we can't choose, we can't adjust, we can't work with the things that we can't see. So if we just step back and look at it, like you were saying, like I looked at these things, it's like, oh yeah, that's not where I want to go or how I want to go there. I'm going to let go of that and do something different.
I think that, you know, as I was listening to, for me, resentment can show up not necessarily with a client, let's say, but perhaps with a team member who's not pulling their weight. There was a line that I read in Dr. David Hawkins' book, Power versus Force, or maybe it was Transcending Levels of Consciousness, and it said that people in business substitute loyalty for performance. I had to close the book because it was like only everywhere, only in every client, in every business, and in mine as well.
Everywhere.
Right? So
it's profound.
So I think that resentment comes from an unwillingness to have crucial conversations, authentic, honest communication, and you know, and being willing to not settle for unworkability. And that resentment comes, I think, you know, from settling and then not saying what there is to say for so long that now you have, not you, but a person has something of a resentment. And I would tell you something, and this is from my own direct personal experience, it's very, very difficult to grow a business that one resents.
Very, very difficult. And as I'm listening to you, there's something that I'm going to play with, but I think that, you know, I have related to resentment as this thing that shows up. And what I'm getting and listening in this conversation is resentment is a misplaced anger for not taking responsibility for selling out on your own voice.
Yep. Absolutely.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
I got to play with that one. Well, Jody, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us today. And hopefully you guys got some jewels and wisdom bits in this conversation. And no doubt we will continue talking about these things.